It's time for What You Need to Know, where you'll learn the strategies and tools you need to grow your YouTube channel. Here's your host, Nicole Sanchez.
I want to help you create like a pro. I run 4 YouTube channels for a multi-billion-dollar tech company, and I also have my own YouTube channel. It's luxury hair care and lifestyle, so totally different topics. So I've been on both sides of the fence where I have every resource you'd probably want. I have editors, motion graphics designers, copywriters, production manager, a fantastic in-house studio with a studio head, and wonderful crew. And then when I do a video like this, I'm doing it all on my own. I'm the crew, I'm the talent, I'm the editor, I am the social media person, I am all of it. So with this very vast realm of experience that I have, I want to help you learn from my successes, my mistakes, to help you grow your channel as best as you possibly can. I also have years and years of experience doing social media, also for a major tech company and myself. And that is also a huge part of growing your channel, is kind of understanding kind of guerrilla PR, that you can do using different social media channels to help your channel grow. So those are some of the topics we will be covering. Oh, another one is live streaming. I've been live streaming pretty much since live streaming was a thing, and that is also a wonderful strategy that you can use. So whether you are a person who is starting a YouTube channel for fun, just for a topic that you're super psyched about, or if you want to start a business of it, or if you're a small or medium-sized business that is wanting to grow your social media and video presence, I'm here to help. It's been around for a while. I'm here to be your channel coach, your screen strategist, and look forward to teaching you everything I possibly can. Now, the first thing that I want to reassure you about is that whether you have every resource in the world to make the perfect video with the perfect audio, the perfect lighting, everything, or you're doing it all on your own, you still have the same obstacles to become successful on YouTube. I have launched 3 of the 4 channels now at my current company, and it is hard to ramp up and get those views. And even when you have a full team working on that kind of thing, the team that I lead, that is our focus, right? I mean, we also do lots of videos for, all of our company's events, for social media, other things. It's not just YouTube, but, we have YouTube shows like that have episodes that are kind of like a series. We have one-offs, we have everything in between. But we still are dealing with the same things that someone just doing YouTube on their own does. We need to reach our audience. We need to convince people to subscribe, and more importantly, watch the videos, right? Because watch time is really what YouTube is looking for. The reason watch time is so important is because that is keeping people on YouTube, and that's what YouTube really wants the most. So you could have, a million subscribers, but if your watch time is low, and it's not just the views, because someone could view for 30 seconds on a 5-minute video, or they could watch 4 minutes of the 5-minute video, and there's a big difference. That YouTube looks at all of that. They are going to serve the videos out further that have more watch time. So there are a lot of things people are doing now, you'll see, to kind of increase that ratio. People are no longer starting with huge long introductions and graphics and things like that. They're not sitting there yammering on about themselves, which, at some point might be interesting for you guys to know more about me personally. But right now, what you really want to know is what I can teach you to grow your YouTube channel, right? So it's things like that that you have to think about. The main thing is to serve that audience. Whatever your thing is, whether it's beauty or it's food or it's something about business, or I don't know, I love those ones like where the attorneys are commenting on cases and looking at what's happening on cases that go on, or Dr. Mike, the doctor who talks about things and reacts to things. Regardless of what your channel is, you need to serve that viewer. Now, speaking of different kinds of channels, let's talk about the purpose of channels, right? So when I started my channel originally, I wanted a channel just kind of to have a creative outlet. I love beauty. I didn't feel like there were many people in the over 40 age range at that point doing very much on YouTube, so I kind of wanted my voice to be heard. It became a creative outlet for me. There's a lot going on in my life at that point that was kind of difficult, and it was just kind of a fun creative outlet that I could do at any time, day or night, when I had time. And then it kind of turned into a whole thing, and we'll go get more into that sometime. Now, on the business side of things, when it's a large company, you're doing it to get your messaging out. You're doing it to promote different events. It's not so much about, hey, we're trying to make money, get AdSense, like a solo creator, or a small creator probably would do, right? When I started getting, AdSense revenue, I was like, hey, this is cool. When I started getting affiliate link revenue, I was like, this is amazing, because you can make way more on that than you can on your AdSense in many cases if you're a smaller channel. It's actually, we really have to talk about that, because it's amazing how deciding on what you're talking about can make such a difference to your AdSense, and then of course also your affiliate income. So, people start channels for different reasons, right? So it's not always about the AdSense and starting a business. So that's one thing that was, very interesting, because of course, at my company, we want the channel to grow. We want engaged viewers. We're trying to put the best information out there. We have one that's an overall kind of corporate channel. We have one that's very much towards the developers and builders that use our product. And then we have an international one for non-English language. And then we have another one that is more of a network thought leadership platform. So they, even within those 4 channels, very, very different purposes there. Now, when I'm looking at what I'm doing on my personal channel, which is, by the way, the Nicole Sanchez on YouTube, in case you're into luxury hair care and kind of over 40 lifestyle, that is something very different. Again, I kind of started that channel just for fun, for me to have a hobby doing something and talking about something I really loved. And then as it began to grow and I was watching some of my friends make real businesses of it, that is when I was like, oh, okay. And I really started with affiliate links and things like that. So one thing I would say to you is, from day one, don't wait like a year to kind of tune into that like I did, because I was just kind of having so much fun with it and the experience and the friends I was making and the things I was doing and going to, look at it with a business eye. One of my my good friends who has a really large channel, she was super smart. She went in there and she really looked at it as a business, and from day one, and she's doing extremely, extremely well. So look at what you're talking about, and don't choose your topic because of the money you think you're going to make at all. You have to talk about something you really care about and like, because that's going to come through. And that's another thing that you might not realize, that even for just looking at AdSense on YouTube now, so depending on what you're talking about, that's the different types of ads that get served to you, right? So, it turns out that, you and I could each have videos that have the same amount of views, the same amount of watch time, and the same amount of ads run. But depending on the ads, the CPM, what you're getting paid for, per thousand, views of the ads can be very, very different. You could make, cents, or you could make dollars. And it's interesting, there's an analytic in YouTube that we could look at what your AdSense kind of average is. And one beauty creator I know, and mine, I just happened to talk about high-end makeup and hair care more, and she talked about more drugstore, and we were talking about the different rate that we were getting paid at. And mine was quite a bit higher. And then I had also happened to, just because I wanted to share it, I'd done some videos about Rakuten, which is a company where it basically, as a person, if you go, let's say you're going to shop at Macy's, let's say, right? And before you go shop at Macy's online, you start at Rakuten. It used to be called Ebates. And the percent can vary. It could be 2%, 10%, 20%. It just varies on that platform depending on what's happening. But if you go through there and then you place your order, you get cash back, okay? So I thought it was really great because I was getting cash back just for doing shopping I was doing anyway. And then they also incorporated where you can do that just going into a store. You just kind of link your credit card. So if I paid inside of Macy's, it's usually a lower rate when you're in store, but I would still make money on what I purchased, right? So if you spend $100 and it's, 5%, you'll get $5 back. And it adds up, and every quarter they send you a check or a PayPal or however you set it up. But I was talking about that. And that somehow made what I was getting paid spike. And I also happened to do this right around kind of Thanksgiving time frame, before the holidays. And it wasn't on purpose, really, other than I thought, hey, people could use this. Again, there wasn't any strategy behind it. I just got lucky, and it shot up the ad rate. But what was really cool was that I had, of course, also told people, hey, use my link to sign up. You get, I don't know what it was at the point, $15 or $30, the first time you make a purchase for a certain amount. And then I get a, commission also, but it doesn't affect what you make. They just kind of like a bounty, I guess, for bringing someone onto their platform. Well, those started to really, really, really add up. So it's really interesting how you can do this, as well as normal affiliate links. If you don't know what affiliate links are, basically it means that you get a link. So when someone clicks on the link and goes, let's just use Amazon as an example, right? I mean, it could be anywhere. It could be Best Buy. It could be Nordstrom. It could be, I don't know, Moroccan oil, whatever. But you can get these affiliate links. I'll tell you kind of how to start doing those also in a moment. But the affiliate links are really, really great because, if you're talking about something anyway and you want people to know where to get it, you put that link down below. And if people click on that, then you make a small percentage off of what they order. And it doesn't affect their price at all. And the cool thing with, some of these, retailers like Amazon, I think it's like 24 hours. So like, let's say you had a $5, wooden spoon or something you do cooking channel. Let's say you're doing a cooking channel. And if someone clicks that link for the wooden spoon and goes to Amazon, well, they might not buy that wooden spoon, but for a certain amount of time after they've used your link, anything they buy on Amazon, you'll get credit for. So if they go buy a $1,000 television set, or, maybe they buy some other cooking things, that kind of got you down that rabbit hole, then you earn on that. I wasn't using any affiliate links or anything like that. And when I started, there were some barriers to entry to getting affiliate links. Now it's not that difficult anymore. It seems like that's opened up a lot more. But there are companies like Magic Links. It used to be called Rewards Style. Now it's LTK, like it's for like to know, that you can get affiliate links for most anywhere on. And then a lot of companies, if you are promoting their products, they will do individual ones with you. Like there's one beauty product kind of supplier for makeup artists that I absolutely love, and they have their own affiliate program. So a lot of people have their own affiliate programs. Like Beautylish has their own, but you can also get links for Beautylish through LTK. So you kind of can look and see maybe where you're getting your best percentage. But hey, look, this is becoming a show about affiliate links. Didn't plan this, but I think it's important if you're starting out to know that there's opportunity to make money on YouTube right away. You don't have to wait till you have a certain amount of subscribers, because you're not going to get your AdSense till you've hit those certain, view and subscriber counts for YouTube. I know it's different for shorts versus long form content, but there's a barrier to entry on AdSense now. When I started, there wasn't. They started a few years after I started. I started on YouTube a long time ago. But that's something that, it starts to add up. It seems like a little bit here and there. And then also look at people's affiliate programs. There's one company whose products I absolutely love, Herbal Face Food. They have a killer affiliate program, and they pay you. They don't make you wait a month until you hit a certain amount. Some of the affiliate programs, they pay you after you're up to $50 or $100 or whatever, right? Which is fine, but they pay you immediately every time. And I just did a video about the products because I really like them, and I threw my affiliate link down there. And that has done super, super well for me. Now let's talk a little bit about getting your setup together for filming. You do not need to get the best camera. Audio is important. It's actually more important to have good audio than video. A lot of people start on their cell phones, and that's totally fine. And one nice thing about your phone is that it's easy. I started out using my husband's camera that happened to, also do video. And later I upgraded that. And it was like $1,000 camera, and it worked great for me for years and years and years. I've now upgraded to a much more professional type of camera. But I have to say, learning to set that up and kind of all the stuff that went along with getting that kind of a camera was a giant pain. It was really difficult because I'd learned it all myself, right? Because I hadn't used that kind of camera personally before. Crew around me uses even better cameras all the time, but it's a lot more tricky. So you can totally get started with, kind of beginner setup. And for lighting, honestly, that is the one thing that I wish starting out I would have put more money into. I kind of started with a window in front of me. I started adding some lights, and by the time I added this light and that light and the other light, it kept making it better. And then I bought like a super great ring light. I was doing beauty. But really, what I should have just done is bought a really good light to start with. And that's what I'm using now, because when I added that light to my old camera, it made my old camera before this one suddenly look a billion times better. It made such a difference to have the good lighting. Like over the top difference. So I would do that. The other thing, I started my channel, I did not know how to video edit. So I went down different roads with some different editing softwares, and now I use Premiere Pro. And that's one of the things I think I would explore before you get started, because I don't think anyone ever understands how long it takes to produce a video. You've got your whole setup, and now I'm lucky enough to have a room where I just leave it set up most of the time, unless we need to use this room for something else, which we just did, but anyhow, but overall now I can leave it set up. It is so nice, because if you have to drag everything out, set it up, tweak your lighting, tweak everything again, it takes a big deal. So if there's a little corner somewhere in your home or office that you can leave it set up, it will save you so much time. And also, if you suddenly want to record something or a portion of something, like let me just use, kind of hair care. If I suddenly was using something and wanted to show something because I was doing it, I could just run here, turn it on, get it, and I have that clip for B-roll or, part of a video that I'm doing. So it's very, very handy. Now, audio-wise also, that is so important, because you can watch a video. I actually did a video about how important audio is. You can watch a video where people, you can hear them super well, and maybe their video doesn't look the greatest. Maybe they just didn't have a very good setup, or their lighting's bad, or whatever. But if the content is intriguing to you and you can hear it, you will listen. But if you can't hear them and the content's intriguing and it's difficult to listen to, you're going to probably turn it off, even though you were interested and wanted to stay on. Let's do a little experiment. In this video, the video might look good, but the audio sounds terrible. So think about how long could you put up with this kind of sound in a video. Now in this video, the video looks terrible, but you can hear me really, really well. So you can still gain value from what I'm saying. You might stick with it if you're interested in what I'm talking about. You really could keep going with it this way. It wouldn't drive you nuts like the bad audio would. I should go grab it 1 second. I'll show you what I started with for audio. 1 sec. Okay, so I just went to go grab the other mic, which I had charging in a different room, and the door is somehow locked, and I can't get it open right now. But it's this Rode mic that you just slip on top of your camera, plug it in, and it's really good. And if you're about like 4 feet away or so, it works great. I've now switched to these little, let me just show you, Rode wireless Go 2s. So this comes a set of 3. So there's one of these plugged into my camera. Then this one that I have the little lab mic on, and I'm probably making horrible noises now moving this around, sorry. But these are fantastic, and they're wireless. So you want to test them, like before I started filming this, I filmed like a minute or so just to make sure. I went over my computer, make sure everything's working. But these have been flawless. I really like these. The light that I have, it's a Kino Flow. I will put the description of that down below, but I love that. And then I have a window here next to me on my right side that has, just like kind of curtains there, but they're not really light blocking. So I do have a couple other lights here on my other side, just to kind of help balance that out. But that's really my lighting setup. If it's dark at night, I can use just the light kind of in front of me, and it does kind of all the work. So that's kind of what my setup is. And then for my camera, I'll list that below in the lens I use. But that one is kind of stupid expensive, but I really wanted to upgrade, and I wanted to upgrade to something that was an actual video camera. I wouldn't have to keep stopping, because the problem with the old camera I was using, it's wonderful and I would highly recommend it. It was a Panasonic Lumix. I think it's the FZ1000. I'll list that. It's a really good camera, but after like 15 or 18 minutes, kind of depending, it'll turn off. So you could be in the middle of a sentence or a thought, and you're like, oh shoot, I need to stop and start recording again, because it could only go for a certain amount of time. So I wanted to invest in a video camera that would just go, 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 no matter how long I was yammering on. And that's how I ended up with this one. But I saved up my AdSense, and I saved up my affiliate money for a while, and then I bought it. But I really think you can get started with just a very basic camera, or your phone if you got a higher level iPhone or Droid or something, and then just again make sure you have good audio. And I can't really speak to. I never really used my phone for any video shooting, other than like I would do cooking videos once in a while back in the day, and I might use it for B-roll. I have this cool mount thing where you could click your phone in and turn it upside down, and I could put it on to what I was doing with my hands or cooking. So that's really kind of all I used it for, was some B-roll, and audio wasn't very important. I have a lav mic for when I was live streaming from my phone that I could actually put down below for you. It's one of these, looks like a little Rode lav like this, but it's made to plug into your phone, and it could go into a Droid. I have to use actually an adapter for the iPhone, so that is really a great thing to have. And then the other thing I would say that I feel like I didn't do enough of in the beginning was, not that you have to script out what you're talking about, but give yourself a little outline, because it does two things. First of all, it keeps you on track, which will make your editing far easier. Because if you're just completely off the cuff, I kind of scoped out what I wanted to talk about here in the beginning, and I figured it would kind of go where it goes, and we would address different subjects, over the course of the show. But if you give yourself an outline like that, and you just maybe just stick a sticky note in front of you, and then in between your subjects you just could look at it, okay, and then you go to the next one, really keeps you on track a lot more. Because I noticed when I did a sponsored video that ended up doing really, really well, it was I think one of my first sponsored videos, I had to do that because the brand wanted to sign off on what I was going to say and be talking about, and so I had to script it out, and that ended up being one of my most successful videos because I really thought about it, and I put some storytelling into it that I think I was kind of lacking before, because I wanted to tell people the story of why I had been using this product for 30 years and how successful it was and how it worked for me. And by doing that, it really, really made it better, because it's super easy to turn on the camera and just go. And some people are super good at that. But then a lot of times I'll be like, oh shoot, I missed this. And then I'll go back, and then you have to edit it in, and it's really a pain. So I'd highly recommend outlining it. And when we do stuff at my company, it's scripted. For most people, scripted. We often use teleprompters or confidence monitors. So teleprompter, sure, to read a complete script, great. But also maybe just to have the bullet points there for someone, right? Because when you're doing very highly technical types of interviews and things like that, the person doing the interviewing usually wants to go through a certain process. So it's fantastic. And usually for our anchor, we'll have a confidence monitor behind the person they're interviewing, so so he can kind of glance over there and make sure he's staying on track. And that's something I think is really, really important, to really think about what you're saying, because again, you want to serve your audience and give them the best viewing experience possible. One other thing I have to talk about, being that I'm coming kind of from the beauty background on my YouTube channel, is take a little bit of care with your appearance. I'm not saying you have to go full glam and do tons of makeup or whatever, but do brush your hair. If you look shiny, get a little powder. Even you guys, it'll just look better. I can give you guys some recommendations on that. We can in fact do a whole deep dive on kind of appearance, another time. But definitely do that. Before you go on, I always check my teeth, because In the beginning when I started this, suddenly I'd be like, oh my God, as I'm editing, there'd be like lipstick on my tooth or something, right? And nobody wants that. Also, kind of check your clothing. Do you have a smudge from your lunch on there? Things like that. Just look at that. It just looks better, more professional, regardless of what your genre is, right? I mean, even if you're out doing some fun, sporty thing, you don't want like a big old stain on your shirt or something. So definitely make sure to look at that. And then also kind of what you're wearing color-wise. You don't want to blend into your background. You don't want crazy vibrant prints, tiny florals, things like that'll bug out people's eyes on camera. Take a look at that. One great thing to do is you're going to need a thumbnail picture. So maybe take some photos of yourself in the setting ahead of time so you can see what you look like. And thumbnails is another thing we're going to talk about. They are hugely, hugely important to capturing people's attention and having them click on your video. So we will delve deeply into that in another episode. And in fact, some creators are planning their thumbnails basically before they even do their video. They've figured that out completely to make it super, super compelling. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I know this was very broad and we covered a lot of different topics, and from now on we'll probably more kind of hit one topic per episode. But I wanted to give you an idea of what we're going to be going over on my show, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.